Warning. The following podcast features terrible jokes, usually about board games. Like those jokes your dad tells that make you groan. Yeah, those kind of jokes. Accordingly, Boards and Swords and the producers must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt across.
Fall.
I just crapped my alien pants. By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm pretty sure
you
told
have.
it.
Well, I'm telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we have bad jokes, we have good folks, and we have some tabletop games. My name is Chris Renshaw, and I'm going to throw it over to the world traveler over there, Mr. Philip Herbig.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We want to welcome you back to our 206th episode. It's been a little while.
It's been a while.
But we're back. We've got news. We're back from our trips.
Back from sickness?
Back from, yeah. Chris got down with the sickness.
Oh, wow.
I
can even do the
I
sound
tried
too.
to drink around the world. I couldn't do that.
Sorry, what was that? You drink around the world at Epcot?
I tried to. I couldn't.
No,
I was on uncle duty.
Gotcha. Yeah, we shouldn't have been recording right now because I was planning on taking this week off because I was going to be at home for Thanksgiving, back in North Carolina for Thanksgiving, but then I got sick and my dad both got sick, so we were like, let's just stay apart and let everybody get better. Like, we're both on the up and up now, but it's like, let's just be safe.
There we go.
So then it was like we were going to have to do like 2 back-to-back recordings just to like hopefully like get caught up on stuff, and so we'd actually have an episode in November. And then we have a guest our next episode. So here's a teaser. I got to reconfirm, but so Rich from the Floorhammer podcast. So it's a Warhammer podcast, but specifically he is a guy that recently took a leave from his job to start doing like painting and terrain and creating minis online as his own business. And I know one of our questions that we got, I think it was from Mike Hargis, was asking about like commissions and getting paid for like painting and that sort of thing. So went and found somebody to kind of that might know a little bit about that. So, but he's over in the UK, so the time zones. That's where I got to double check double check on it. But at least as of like a couple weeks ago, he was down for that. But this episode, Philip, you've got the list. What are we talking about today?
So on the list right there, we've got some Star Wars news. We've got some more Star Wars news. Some Games Workshop stuff. We got some banking news too.
I will. Little caveat. And then after that, we got lots of different gaming talk. At least on my end, because I was down for like a week and a half not playing games, but I made up for it. But Philip, you want to do your best news impression?
News.
All right. So I will.
I was actually looking for an open input on the soundboard that I could have plugged my iPad into because I have my news clip that you.
Oh
clipped.
yeah. That's what we need to do as just a backup. just have you plug in your soundboard for when we don't get this one working. Because then I don't know if like guests would hear it, and I guess they might. We'll see. Well, things to think about, things to make you go But I will warn people that this is going to be I got 7 articles here because it's been like a month since we've recorded. And half of them are going to be Hasbro related, just because I saw a bunch of interesting, worth talking about Hasbro articles. So, first up is you can't rebel against these new releases, and that is from Atomic Mass Games. We have a new minis game coming out summer 2023, Star Wars Shatterpoint. I'll mute this, but we'll just have like the trailer going here in the background. So this is going to be a skirmish Star Wars minis game from the people that make they're now in charge of like X-Wing and Legion and that sort of thing, but their first game that they made and that they started the company was Marvel Crisis Protocol, which was more of a skirmish style game. So everyone's kind of the rumors and the things or kind of what everyone's hoping is that this is very similar to that, because that game, the people that play that game really like that game. They really like the Marvel Crisis Protocol, where you just kind of like grab like, oh, I'm just gonna throw like Iron Man and like War Machine and then like Black Panther and all this stuff, and they're gonna fight against Thanos. And I will have to say the terrain for that game is really cool, but there's even mechanics where you can like pick up a bus and throw it because Hulk.
Oh yeah.
So this looks like it's going to be at least. So they say it's going to be different. It says squad-based skirmish combat in the Star Wars galaxy. Probably not a 1-to-1 reskin, I would imagine, because you'll probably have things like Force stuff in there that like you wouldn't have in like Marvel. But
yeah.
If I were a bet man, I would say at least some similarities to the Marvel Crisis Protocol. So we'll find out next year. Summer 2023 reads Gen Con to me.
Yep.
So
we'll
see how that goes. You'll be able to customize, strategize, and battle. See, they missed a point. See, if I was in charge of this, I would have said customize, strategize, battleize. Does it make sense? No. So yeah,
those are trademark names.
Apparently, I mean, why not? But I just love it's like GM.
Yeah, it's
Ahsoka Tano, GM. All right, but if you thought Hasbro Day was done with all their Star Wars news, there's a palpaton of new Star Wars games coming right up the alley here, and that is Star Wars the deck build. Get out of here. Star Wars the deck building game from FFG. So
No. You got to do that more. You got to do that more. Spaceballs. Star Wars the deck building game.
Yeah, as soon as I get rid of all these like freaking like cookies and join our mailing list. Yeah, so
aren't you already part of the mailing list? Like, don't they recognize that?
New browser.
Oh, there we go.
I switched using Firefox because it's less resources intensive than Chrome. Chrome is like a hog these days. Like you got like 4 windows and it's like 50% CPU usage. So yeah, Fantasy Flight has announced. When I first saw this, I thought that this was got to be like an LCG, because they used to make a Star Wars LCG, and everyone been kind of hoping like maybe they would do like a co-op, because it was a competitive LCG where like one person's the light side, one person's the dark side. But people are hoping maybe they would do like an Arkham Horror style Star Wars narrative kind of cooperative LCG. And so when I first saw this and I was like, Star Wars game, and then it was like, oh, deck building game. And then I was like, wait a minute. And yeah, this is totally like, this is more like the Power Rangers deck building game, and like Transformers, the deck building game, where it's its own standalone box where, think like Clank or the DC Universe one that we played, where it's just you start off with the small deck and then you buy cards off the thing, and You use it to get more powerful cards, etc., etc. Like your classic deck building game. There's nothing extremely special about this. So it's kind of like, part of me is like, why? But at the same time, it's Star Wars, so it will print money.
Oh yeah.
So, Rusty Beetle says that the Shatterpoint, it's all prequel stuff. It's all prequel stuff that they showed.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta work.
I mean,
your way.
it makes sense because that's like your most battles, like your biggest battles were in Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and with like the most amount of characters, versus like everything else is more like space fighting in the other movies.
Yeah.
Not as much on the ground fighting. So, all right. So one Games Workshop story here. Recently, there was an old abandoned mall near us that collapsed, and only one store survived. The old Arcadia stands. That joke will only make sense to Warhammer fans, because I will explain it. But Cadia is like, so there's this hole in reality called the Eye of Terror. That's basically like a gateway to hell, where all like the demons and the chaos and everything spawn out of. If you want to go even further back, it's because it's because the Eldar got all greedy and self-indulgent, and they ended up birthing a new god, Slanesh, who's like the god of pleasure or whatever, and it ripped a hole in reality. And Cadia is the closest planet to it, and for it, like, it was basically the front line against chaos for the longest time until finally it fell in like in one of the more recent storylines. But all the survivors are like spread out throughout the stars, and like a lot of the infantry has been from Cadia, so the warriors still are like, Cadia stands. But speaking of which, Games Workshop announces new miniatures box set for Warhammer 40,000 Cadia Stands. This is the Astra Militarum Army set. So this is very much beloved, the box set that has been wanted for a long time, because this has the codex for the Imperial Guard in it. That's the Astra Militarum. That's the copyrightable term for Imperial Guard. You can't copyright Imperial Guard, but you can say Astra Militarum. So this is the Cadia Stands box. You got the cards, you got the book, you got all like the transfers, and then of course a ton of minis. We got at least like one. Looks like we got a little gun platform here in the background. Wait, are there other pictures? Let's see. Here we go. Other pictures. Yeah. So these are not your Space Marines. These are your regular everyday dudes.
Yep.
All the other people in 40K that are like, yeah, you. There's I think I saw a TikTok where it's like, yeah, you reading this, you've been inducted into the Imperial Guard. Oh yeah, here we go. Nice little mobile gun platform. Basically some mortars. That's the better word.
The field ordnance team.
Yeah, and you got you got a cannoneer back here. The guy's like standing on a ammo crate. I mean, these are I have zero interest in playing Imperial Guard, because for me it's like in a reality where superhuman soldiers exist, why would you play ordinary people?
Right.
Especially that, and I love space armor. I mean, that's the real reason I like Space Marines, is between
giant hulking armor,
between Iron Man and Halo and stuff, I'm just a fan for space armor suits. So let's see. This clearly not a ripoff of an ATST in no way, shape, or form.
No.
And then of course they got the everything. So everyone's been looking forward to this because, like, you know, everyone's been still playing on 8th edition rules, and here we are like 2.5 years into 9th edition, and they're finally getting the rule set. and everyone's thinking that maybe like 10th edition's going to be like next summer or something. So it's like just in time for a new edition, you have your rule set finally. All right. Now we're going to turn to the Hasbro hour. And that is apparently you can HeroScape this next story. And that is that at Gen Con, everywhere word is that the HeroScape Age of Annihilation was coming out. That was going to be a new version of HeroScape. This is the game that had the little plastic tiles, like plastic terrain that was in hexes that you could like stack up and make all kinds of weird terrain and like pre-painted plastic stuff. And they announced it was going to come to their Hasbro Pulse, just like HeroScape did. But it was like a $250 price tag for like a lot. It was a bunch of stuff. It was pre-painted, everything, and everybody was like, nope. So more than 4,300 people had backed the project, committing over $1.08 million. But that number was only just over half the 8,000 backers that Hasbro required to meet its funding goal. So some people had said that, a lot of times when a thing doesn't make its project goal and it's gotten at least some decent stuff, that they will like rework their targets and adjust the gameplay. Hasbro was like, nope, we're just going to do other stuff. They were just like, clearly not enough people want this. Screw it. We're not going to do it. Yeah. So everyone is like, maybe if you just hadn't made a version that was $250, more people would have bought it.
Yeah, because I'm reading through the thing. It was like the Vanguard edition, which was the only edition.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Was no
earlier
other price point.
HeroScape sets were like $40-$50. Maybe like 80, I think, for some of the deluxe ones. But the problem is that was like in the early 2000s, and plastic has gone up quite a bit.
Yes, it
and you
has.
can't make it for that money. But this is also why when people are like, why do big companies still use Kickstarter? This is why. Because they don't have to dump a bunch of money into making like product that's not going to sell. Like,
Yeah, it's going to sit on shelves and then be clearanced out next December.
And they'll take a loss. Here, they lost a little bit of money on coming up with the prototype. So it's like it's not an inconsequential amount of money, but they would have lost way more in like the tooling costs for all the stuff. It's their way of judging, like, is this a thing people want? I mean, I think it's kind of cool they've got it on their own site sort of thing. By the way, did you see I tagged you in a thing on Facebook, speaking of Hasbro and their Pulse site? Did you see they got their own like action figure line where you can have like it's their version of the Little Phil, but you can dress them up in like different outfits, so like you can have like Power Ranger Philip, and so you can, instead of having just a little 3D printed figure, you can have like an action figure with your face on it, but that's like, Philip as the Green Ranger, the Red Ranger, or every Ranger,
or Dracon.
Phil, you just get like, oh my God, if it were only possible, now I want to like, if we just get how much of these figures, because I just want to see like in your quote unquote set behind you, I want a Power Ranger in every color of like the original 6 in like
just me
in Phil, with just Philip. Even the girls, like, but just as Philip instead.
All right, how much are the? Here we go.
If it's more than $50, that's out the wazoo. I feel like $50 is like the nominal price point here. I think they were called like.
There we are. $59.99.
Oh, that's a little steep. Maybe like one.
Because I mean,
wait, how tall are they? Are these like foot, or are these like the like the 6 inches or
6-inch action figure?
Okay.
Yeah. 6-inch action figure, and it would have to be 7 because Green Ranger and White Ranger.
Oh yes, you're right. All right, let's move.
Yeah.
Let's move
That's
along.
$420.
New Patreon goal. All right. This one, it was a little hard because once you see the article, and it's kind of funny I said a little hard. I feel like I can make an NSFW topping joke with this next story, but I'm just going to say that and let your mind fill in the gaps. Hell. And that is Magic wins with Warhammer 40,000 and Unfinity topping the list. And so, oops. Yeah, so this was like, it was an article based on an article, but a TCG player top 25 sealed products listing came out, and Magic had 14 of the top 25 slots. So, you know, we've seen like dips and dives with Magic recently, but specifically they did their Universes Beyond did you see this? That they made Warhammer 40K commander decks?
I didn't.
In Magic?
I didn't see that, but I did just recently see Transformers stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. Next story.
Okay.
You're jumping ahead.
Oh, it's the next one? Oh, we're jumping ahead already?
Yeah.
Oh,
So they came out with 4 commander decks. Like, you can't even find them now. And if you do, they're like being upsold. It's like $60 for like one. Yeah. And if you want the special the foil editions, forget about it. The problem is like I wanted to get these, but you could only buy them at the store as a complete collection, so you had to pay like $200 to get all 4.
Oh, you had to get all 4?
Yeah, you could. They weren't selling them as individual packages. Like I think in a not just like our store. I think as a general rule, you had like you could buy the shiny ones separately. But yeah, they had it as one deck was the Imperium, one deck was Chaos, and then you had the Necrons and the Tyranids.
Okay.
So yeah, that was at the top of the list, considering that you had to buy them in $200 increments. I'm really kind of not surprised. And then Unfinity is the latest in their kind of like joke sets. I haven't seen any cards from this, but I have enjoyed the previous sets where they have like the smart ass and the jackass cards.
Oh yeah, and all the joke cards and everything.
Yeah, where it's like, if you play this card while being under the table, you get +1/+1 or something like that.
Well, there was some card. I liked the thing. It was if you can put this card into play and nobody notices it for an entire turn.
I think it's the
round,
cheat.
it stays in play. Yeah,
I think it's like
was
a creature.
blue.
It was like a creature called the cheat or something like that.
I remember it was blue. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Which blue is memory. So yeah. But yeah, I was like that is some cool stuff they do with all their lines.
Yeah. Yeah, here you can see some of the actually no you can't. It's really small. Yeah, here's all the different decks that they made for the Warhammer 40K ones. I actually do like I've sold off pretty much all my Magic stuff except for I have like one commander deck one prepackaged commander deck over there just in case. But I would probably play even play the Chaos one because that's kind of cool because the first card is Abaddon the Despoiler, so that's kind of cool. But getting to around what Philip said, if you mix Spider-Man's villains with Transformers, do you get an Autobot? So Wizards of the Coast will include Transformers Magic the Gathering cards in their latest packs, Brothers War. So Wizards of the Coast will include Universes Beyond Transformer cards in packs of the upcoming Magic the Gathering Brothers War set. The set is scheduled to be released on November 18th, 2022. They've included the set as mythic rares and can be opened in set and collector's boosters in both foil and non-foil versions. These cards were included in 10% of set boosters and come in a special Transformer Shattered Glass treatment and 12% of collector boosters. There are 15 different cards included. Let's see. Do they have the full-size images? Click the oh, here we go. Let's actually get. Nope, that's not. Yeah, so Brothers War is going back to like Urza, by the way. They're going back to the day before I was playing. Okay, so here you go. Optimus Prime Autobot Leader. Somebody had this. I don't know if they printed it out as a proxy or what, but Yeah, so they had like in their commander deck, they had Optimus Prime at the store because it released like a week or two ago. So the story is a little old, but so living metal, trample. Whenever you attack, bolster 2. The chosen creature gains trample until end of turn. Whenever that creature deals damage to a player this turn, convert Optimus Prime. More than meets the eye. When he dies, return it to the battlefield converted under its owner's control. Legendary artifact creature, a robot. Then you got the Megatron Tyrant. What does more than meets the eye do? Maybe you can put it into play under its converted for that cost, maybe?
Oh, that's an option, yeah.
It's fun. It's weird.
7/5.
Yeah. But it's got like a 4/5 up here.
Oh, maybe that's the converted?
Maybe. Destructive Force. Yeah, it doesn't have a cost up here, so I'm wondering if, yeah, like it.
Oh, yeah, the conversion ones don't have costs.
It's the converted side. So I wonder if the more than meets the eye is, because it's normally like 3 in a red, a white, and a black, but it's only 1 in a red and white and black if you play it more than meets the eye. So I'm assuming that means like you play it converted first, and then whenever he attacks, you may sacrifice another artifact. If excess damage will be dealt to a creature, instead of that damage is dealt to the creature's controller, and you convert Megatron. Yeah, this was the version I saw. Was the
Oh, there we go. Click one more. There you go. That's what you do.
You may cast this card, convert it. Okay, those are like the premier glass version things. This was the version I actually saw somebody.
This is the one with the instructions.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, that's weird. It's stronger actually converted than it is. He's only 4'8" as a hero, but as a truck.
He's 6'8".
Yeah. Oh man. So this is the thing. I want these cards, but I don't want to buy like cases of Magic cards to get them all.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's that 10% chance.
Yeah, like if they did a commander deck with these, I'd buy that, assuming it wasn't selling for like $50 million.
These lands are looking kind of cool.
Oh, I haven't even seen lands yet. Oh, there's the Oh, they got the full art lands. Those are cool.
Yeah.
That looks like a Tyranid almost. I think these are just from the set. I don't think these are necessarily the transform. They're just from
no, these are just from the set. Yeah, because like Misha's Foundry and Misha, yeah.
Okay. One more story. So take everything you just heard, and now suddenly this next story is going to make a lot of sense. I wanted to make some soup, and I found a store that sold nothing but its like base ingredients, but the prices were just all over the place. Man, the stock market be crazy. That's a cooking joke for you.
Yeah.
So, stop it. Stupid ads and like, allow cookies and whatever. Bank of America downgrades Hasbro stock, saying Magic's getting greedy. So I don't know if do you remember? So I said it's been a month for us, but it's actually been a month and a half since you were on the show because we had the last one with Sean. Do you remember? I think it was in that last one you were on where they had the 30th anniversary, the $1,000 booster packs. Where you couldn't even use them; they weren't even legal cards.
Yeah.
Hoser 40K, I like the bird puns over cooking jokes. Speaking of which, Magic the Gathering might be the goose that lays the golden egg, but right now it's landed Hasbro in some hot water. Bank of America downgraded Hasbro's stocks, citing an overproduction of Magic cards while warning investors. Their stock slid 5.5% as Bank of America downgraded Hasbro from buy to underperform. So this move follows a deep dive into Hasbro's Magic the Gathering operations that found that Hasbro has been overprinting card, which is destroying the long-term value of the business. Although it seems it diverges from the average. No, it doesn't. They say they're concerned by the company's decision to release a 30th anniversary set that includes 4 booster packs for $999, a price which the value said was excessively high. Their position.
That was 4 packs.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, it was.
That was not
4...
like a booster box.
No, that was 4 packs.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. As much fun as I've had with Magic back in the day, and I've still got that Sliver Commander deck.
Yeah.
That I built that everyone hates. Yeah. Screw that noise, dude.
Yeah. And that was the other thing is you couldn't buy this at your local store unless they only got like one or they only got like a couple. You mostly had to go buy it from the main website because they were worried about like third party sellers ratcheting them up even more. Their position is that reprints hurt the secondary sale market since packs include cards from the reserve list, which Hasbro promised never to reprint. It'll harm long-term investing in the cards. It also mentioned how increased production could lead supply to outpace demand, which means that businesses and collectors could no longer purposely hold packs to sell later at a higher price. They warned changing the secondary market could push collectors to Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Flesh and Blood instead. Meanwhile, this was funny because like it was a business company saying the same kind of crap that like I've been seeing all over the place on like Magic site, like looking at Magic content creators and just seeing like articles and stuff that people have been saying about Magic is that they've also been saying they are heavily throwing out new product and overprinting stuff. And, from their point of view, like not from, from the average player point of view, where it makes it hard to keep up with the game because there's always new stuff. I saw there was a graph somewhere. I didn't get a chance to pull it up, but where it was like the average amount of product printed each year. And then it's just like steady leveling and it gets to 22 and it's just like, whoop, like off the chart. Cause again, we go back to they had like all your regular sets. And then there was the Warhammer stuff. There's been a couple of Secret Lair things, this new 30th anniversary stuff. And that's all in just this year alone. There's just been so many. I think I like bird puns over Magic the Gathering. Hey, like it or not, it's a staple of it's a tent pole of our hobby. So, Hasbro opened the year at $100 a share, and now shares have dipped below $60 a share. Oh yeah, 2023 we're gonna get a Lord of the Rings Magic set, a Doctor Who Magic set, and Final Fantasy and Assassin's Creed. Not long, like. Hey. I'm all for like. I think the better way to do this is to just have like a Universes Beyond set, and then mix a bunch of different things in there for that. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this Universes Beyond set has got like 40K and Transformers in it, and then this set has got like Lord of the Rings and Doctor Who and stuff, and then The Walking Dead, because I think that came out this year too. Shark Meat Jump. Hey, man. You got to be making that money somehow. So that's the news. So, Philip, did you happen to do... Because I know, like... I was curious about one thing, because you may not play as many tabletop games, but you are a gamer. But I know there are, like... gaming type things because you just came back last month from Disney World. Like there's like a QR, or there's some sort of like card scanning thing that they have like all throughout the parks and stuff that I've heard people talk about.
No idea.
No idea. Okay. There was like an app or some stuff that like you could interact with and stuff.
There was the bounty hunting stuff in Galaxy's Edge. Didn't do any of that, but like saw that it was available. Yeah, no, most of the time I was on uncle duty. It's kind of fun.
All right.
It's great, man. Just like running around and um also a lot of the first off, this kid's 5 years old, okay? 5 years old, barely comes up to my waist. Yeah, let's go do Tower of Terror. I'm like, what? Like, are you serious? Are you tall enough to ride that thing? This kid's 44 inches tall. You only gotta be 40 to ride the Tower of Terror. So you're like, okay, cool. I'll go. Yeah, let's go do Tower of Terror. Got the picture. So like we had the magic bands, and those were cool. Like you get access to like your room and its payment, and like you can do all this stuff with it. One of the things is it also links into your My Disney Experience app for pictures from rides.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So the one of the Tower of Terror was their picture system was down. Like pictures were being taken, but the system was down, whatever. So I don't know, maybe like the next day, her dad and her had gone on the Buzz Lightyear. You shoot the stuff, like you got the little guns on your cart and you shoot stuff on that. So then she wanted to go on that with me. So I'm like, cool, we go through that, and it takes pictures individually of your different cars. And we're like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. And all of a sudden, like I found our picture, and like I figured it out immediately. There was a yellow line going from our picture down around to a yellow ringed magic band sensor. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever. So I go to walk over there. No, this little kid has already run ahead of me. She's like, oh, look, our picture. Bing. And puts her magic band up there. I'm like, how the hell did you figure that out?
Kids these days, they were
right. The kids with the technology, man. She was just immediate. Bam! I know what to do. So now the reason I mentioned that was because somehow our Tower of Terror pictures appeared in our account. We didn't scan. Like we went up and I talked to the person at the where you would pay for the picture if you were going to get it printed. And they were like, yeah, you got off the ride at this time. So here's the window that the front customer service desk at the Hollywood Studios park. Just tell them to look for that, and they can add it to your account. We don't know how that picture got linked to our account.
Weird. And it was just that picture?
It was just that picture. Everything else we scanned in.
Weird.
Like the people randomly walking around taking pictures at the park, they all had stuff, and it was, I'm sure they had the cameras linked into the Wi-Fi. Everything was immediate. But yeah, I'm like, what the hell, Disney? What are y'all doing?
The kid figured it out.
Probably. I don't know where the hell, but like, yeah, I don't know. So like Disney was a good time, man.
All right. So we'll talk more about that in the bonus stuff, but yes. you also had a Mancation, and you do like to play some Munchkin on the Mancation. So I will ask, was there any Munchkin played?
If it was, I don't know. I know Munchkin was there. I did not bring my copy with me. Our friend Mike brought his copy with him. But I was on vacation, and I was able to. Hey, Rusty Beetle might be right. Facial recognition, but like I didn't take a lot of pictures though.
You're just a very distinct person.
I am, red beard, bald head. That would so Munchkin might have been played. I was like asleep early on both nights.
You were doing the old man vacation.
I make you some shit.
I was on vacation. Like I played in the pool a little bit. We sat in the man stew hot tub for a little bit, had a drink, and then it was like, I'm on vacation. I can do whatever the hell I want. I want to sleep.
That's gonna be me tomorrow. That was the downside. Is I had a 4-day weekend and I was sick, and I was like, I just want to go play games, but I'm here in my bed, which is like great. Like I got sleep, but at the same time, it's like I want to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I managed to get some other stuff. By the way, I got from the Exit the Game people. I got the Advent calendar for this year, the Hunt for the Golden Book. So next time we record, it will be December, to where I can start talking about the Advent calendar, because I want to do it as somebody was like, how is that even useful? Because you won't. I'm like, A, there'll be at least one show, so you'll hear me talk about it, and B, you'll hear me talk about it, and next year or after this Christmas, because I imagine after Christmas these things will go, they'll get a lot cheaper or something. Then you'll know to get it. And who says Advent has to be during? Who says Advent has to be during Christmas? I know that's the point of an Advent calendar, but like
Catholic Church.
Yeah, but who cares? But what we used to do is like the socks, like the calendars with the socks and stuff in them. We used to just do the 12 days after Christmas, because like most of the time you do, like the day after Christmas, they'd be like half off anyway. So it's like, why am I going to pay $30 when I could just pay like 15 or 5, and now I got like 12 pairs of Star Wars socks?
Right? Who the hell buys Halloween candy? You buy November 1st candy.
Yeah, exactly. And Rusted Beetle's got a very good description on how they probably could have gotten
does.
Mickey Mouse machine learning. So more to come on that one. We also had Ork-tober. This was a lot of fun, where one of the Age of Sigmar people, he had been doing for Nova. He had this big, huge siege wall that he had spent like months and months 3D printing and painting and getting it all stuff. And I was like, hey, can we borrow that? So we had this like siege thing where we had like, basically I had somebody, we had like 8,000 points of orcs on one side of the board here, and then just like six or seven player regular, non-orc players on the other side. And it was just like, okay, the defense, you just need to make sure the wall, or make sure everything survives. And the goal of the orcs was just like, they were just going to keep regenerating and stuff. Except for the way I had it was that because I came up with this event, and the way I had it was like, oh, whenever a unit dies, they like re-roll, and on like a 5 or a 6, they come back. The person playing the orcs was not rolling very well, so the orcs would just die and not come back. It was kind of a big cluster, but it ended up being all right. We played for like 3 or 4 hours, that it was like, okay, I think we're done. Because mass battles, they tend to take a while, because it's like you got 6 people over here trying to do, and then you got like 1 or 2 people controlling 8,000 points of our orcs. So definitely got some modifications to do for next time, but it was still a lot of fun. And I got to put in my one of my brand new knights, the brand new Big Daddy knight that I had. He's a knight paladin, because he's got his thermal cannon on one side, and he's got a big huge chainsaw, that chainsaw sword that's like the size of this car over here. No, it's bigger. It's like 3 Space Marines back to back, or like head to tail. That's how long.
Oh, wow.
Like physically, this thing is like, let's see, what is that? Like 5 inches? I'm just gonna move along for that. And then I got to play out the new Oath game from Leader Games. That was very interesting. So I got a chance to hang out with our friends Jimmy and Corey, and it took this game Oath. These are by the same people, same designer, same artist as Root. But it was their Chronicle game. They kept, which I never really understood what that meant. Like they were saying like it's a legacy game, but it's not a legacy game, and like how it was like the game changes, but like only like it doesn't really matter who's playing what. It's just that the game naturally evolves. So, but I now know that's right. Also, host of 40K said. So the way that this works is basically the map changes, and like whoever wins basically it's to kind of set the terms of the next game. So there's kind of there's this oath that gets made that's because everybody starts off as exiles except for there's one chancellor of like the empire, and the previous chancellor picks what the oath keeper what the Chancellor needs to, like, what the winning condition is for the next game. So to start off, it's just the Oath Keeper of Supremacy. That's just the starting one they tell you. And that is you just throw, or you just want to control the most planes, so like, land, or, area control and control the most things. But then so I ended up winning this and it was really cool. But I get to choose, okay, for the next one, it's who has the people's favor the longest. And to do that, you need to like have a bunch of resources that you can use to like do certain things to keep the people's favor in front of you. So there's like 4 of these different oaths. So that's what kind of it means is like each game affects the next one and kind of like what the winning conditions kind of are on what the map maybe set up. But it's not an ongoing co-op or competitive game where like, oh, I've won X amount of time, so I'm in a much better place to win the next couple of ones. I will say that this game was brain burny as fuck, though. By the end of the game, we had it figured out and it played relatively fast, but very early in the beginning, Corey, I think the episode after Christmas or after the next one when we have the guy from Floorhammer on, I think I'm gonna have Corey and Jimmy here in studio and we'll probably talk about this because also, newsflash, I'm actually going to PAX Unplugged this year. If you will be there, I'll be working the Game Toppers booth. Berkey needed help out there, so I changed plans and be there. But we'll be able to talk some. PAX Unplugged stuff too. But Corey describes that this is the most Cones of Dunshire game she's ever heard of.
Okay.
Where it's just like every thing that we were listening and like watching in a video of, it's like, also, if you hold this thing and if you lose this item, then you won't be able to exile people anymore from your thing, or you won't be able to turn people into citizens and stuff. Like, just like it's sorry, I wish I could do it, but it's better when she described it. It was just the most like finicky amount of rules and just a lot of stuff going on here. Like this is definitely, I mean, this is like $120 game, which like you could tell looking at the picture here, like it doesn't come with the board. It comes with a play mat on the ones with like the neat stitched edgings around it and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I will say that although it was very like complicated and brain burny and a little bit hard to understand, the card system they have for setup and for kind of walking you through the first set of turns actually worked really well. It didn't solve the confusion issues, but it like got us moving in the game. Like, you don't know necessarily, like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm getting the motions down, and then it clicks like, maybe like half a game later, like, oh, now I'm starting to understand this game. But it's very easy where it's like you flip over a card and it's like, put this card here, put this card there, put it there. All right, one person take this board, one person take that board. Okay. You don't have 4 people playing, somebody's playing all 4 because you want to be able to see all the different strategies.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, now proceed to this deck and input it. It's very, very, very hand-holdy, which is good because like I watched a video on how to play this game and I still didn't understand how to play this game. Like it just went in one ear and I was like, what the heck is going on? So, I mean, for the most part, it does play in a bit kind of like Root, where there's like the different phases where it's like, oh, here's the start of your turn. Then you have 3 actions you can do, and then you clean up. Like that level is kind of the same, but it's more of the way you play. Is it the hard part? It's why you would do things is the hard part. Like, what am I actually doing to like help me win? Like, is there only like what are the paths to winning, and why would I want to do thing X versus thing Y? That's where it gets kind of like brain burny. And then we had our ExtraLife battle, which this month and the end of last month are nothing but like mega battles galore events wise, because this was our charity mega battle for ExtraLife, where everybody we had like a buy-in towards the charity, but you could spend $1 per reroll. So like anytime you messed up, it's like whatever, throw a ticket down, that's another $1 and just reroll for whatever case you wanted to.
Okay.
And then the coolest part about this was this thing here in the center. So for record, my knight over here, which is, like 9 to 10 inches tall, only comes up to this thing's ankle. We had this huge Titan.
Nice.
Fortunately, this was all 3D printed, because these things are normally like multiple thousands of dollars on like the Forge World website. So I think this is considered a Warlord Titan, might be. Yeah, so this is the granddaddy machine of the Imperium. So we had one of these. I think he said it took him. He had 2 of them because we thought we might have 2 tables, but we only had enough players for 1. But I think he said it took him 2 years to print these, because these are all resin and small space and just multiple parts.
Yeah.
But like, this thing was massive. Like he said he had a seatbelt one in, just so to make sure it didn't like go all over the place. Because this thing is like the size of a toddler. And the way we had it is you would like bid. Each team would bid on like how much, like I'm gonna bid $3, and they would get to control the Titan for a turn and all of his weapons and stuff. So, just trying to do whatever to try and like get people to spend money on it. So like some people would go and just like dump $20-30. Yeah, $20-30 in just a reroll tickets and or auction tickets. And yeah, this is the Titan right here. This is the picture of the Titan. I only have the back. I don't have the front. But I lost very quickly in this game because I was on the end of the table down here with 2 Demons players, and I found out that Imperial Knights not so good against Demons because they have their funky new Demon saves that like are different than your you get all these different AP weapons that like it would help if I realized all this time I left it on the I left it on us, and I forgot to actually show the pictures.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm watching my Discord screen. I'm like, oh, yeah, I can see everything. What the hell's those are talking about?
Yeah, so I can flip through real quick. So yeah, we had Ork-tober with this giant, and then I can show off. Then I got Oath here, and then the big huge Warlord Titan in the middle of the screen here, just to kind of back things up. I forgot to switch the thing. I did a screen sharing on our Discord call so that Philip didn't have to wait 30 seconds or whatever for it to show up on screen, and so that we wouldn't have that little lag. And because of which he was seeing the pictures, but I forgot I didn't put the actual camera on. So, lost very quickly because the way to kill demons is just with a lot of shots, and I don't deal a lot of shots. I deal small amounts of shots with like very high damage. And the problem with their like saves, where they're like basically no matter what you shoot at them, they get the ones they were playing, they get a 50% save on everything. You just want to shoot like a crap ton of stuff and something will get through. But not me. I'm shooting like maybe like a couple of things. Of course, later, I found ways to get around that, but I didn't know that at the time because I was still learning. Flamethrowers, exactly. And then I got to try, you can't see here, this is just the Resident Evil 3, the board game from Steamforged Games. I finally got sat down and started working through the campaign of that one. I had played the tutorial of it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty fun. And then I played the first campaign, and I realized I had been playing a rule wrong, and it suddenly became vastly more difficult. It was still fun, but it was just extremely harder because on the die that you roll to hit, there's a symbol for like a push, and then there's a symbol for like the damage, and I thought that the damage meant like bonus damage, and that the push was like a 1 damage, and the bonus damage was like 1 plus another 1. No, the push is only a pure push. So like I'm unloading like 12 shots into this zombie and finally get the one shot I need. Like, no, I'm pushing him all over the map, but like empty a clip into this guy and he finally dies, even though he's only got like 1 health. But I just couldn't roll worth crap. But it also made it seem more like the game where you're just kind of like, die! Yeah. So a lot of very interesting. I'll talk more about this as I get to play more. But a lot of interesting mechanics that like make you feel like you're playing a board game. There's not an app or anything, but there's so many mechanics that simulate things in board game or in video games. Like there's a item box that you can just walk up to and drop stuff in, and it will be available. It sits up here in this little slot.
And it's available 10 rooms later.
Well, yeah, like for the rest of the game, anytime you go to the item box, it's in there.
Yep.
Yeah. So those sorts of things. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I included this picture. This was the first time I got to play with the entire knight army. Whoops. Too far. But now the entire knight army is fully painted, so you could actually see.
Okay.
I don't have a family picture yet. I need to take one of those that shows everybody in scale.
So it's 4 knights and the.
Oh, there's 6 of them, but the other 2 are like down here or off to the side.
Oh, the little guys are the knights.
Yeah. Well, these are called. They're all knights.
Okay.
These are the knight armigers. Even though so they're not in the lore. They're not technically knights. The ones that are like Sir such and such are the 2 big daddies over here.
Okay.
But yeah, I got 6 armigers. And then 2 of the big guys. I got one. This guy is a Knight Crusader because he's all shooty stuff. Like pretty much, I just park him in the back, and his job is just to lay down fire over the entire. Like his guns reach the entire battlefield.
Oh, that's always good.
And then this guy that's the Knight Paladin, the guy that was unpainted in the previous photo, where he's got his thermal cannon, but then he's got his chain sword over here, the Reaper chain sword. Yeah. So this was also my first win. It was a really tough game because Necrons are another horde army because they keep respawning, and they keep respawning, and it's another army where you just want to unload a bunch of shots, and so it was very difficult. But I managed to end up winning. It was my first win with the Knights. Did I pre-order the Knights Christmas box set? No. I don't know if they're available to pre-order yet. Yeah, as soon as I spent all this money buying all these Knights, they came out with a Christmas box set that like would have given me like half of this for like half the price.
Oh.
And it was just like, you sons of bitches. But I wouldn't have had them I wouldn't have had them now. So, but if anybody needs to have some Knights, it's definitely the way to go. Like you get one of these, and I want to say like 3 or 4 of these for like $200, and that is a steal. But no, I did not buy it, and I probably won't because I've got enough. I've got 2,000 points. I could probably get another single armiger, another big guy just to have for some options if I wanted to like cut down 2 of them and throw in another big guy for heavy firepower. But no, I think I'm probably going to stay where I am and keep my eye open for any other big deals for Warhammer stuffs. Let's see what else. Oh, and then I got this in the mail. I just got this in the mail. It's sitting on the desk over there. I wanted to talk about this. So I knew about so Dragonlance. It's another popular setting that that's been around forever that they finally decided to bring into 5th edition. And I believe it releases on Tuesday, I want to say. So maybe tomorrow. I think as of this recording, I think tomorrow's when it releases. Okay. But I got this in the mail from Wizards of the Coast. It's both the standard editions. The box was huge, and I was like, "What the heck?" But it came with this deluxe component edition that came with like the GM screen and everything, which I was like, okay, whatever. But it comes with a board game. I was like, "Oh, that's neat." Like sometimes they make board games versions on previous adventures. That's just like, here's a board game. But this one is actually designed by Rob Davio and the guy that made HeroQuest.
Okay.
like the best thing about HeroQuest is HeroQuest.
More HeroQuest.
Exactly. But the way that this board game actually ties into the expansion here, or into the adventure, so like there are parts of the adventure where you can stop playing D&D and switch and play the board game instead.
Oh.
Like the mass battles that might be kind of difficult to play in D&D, you can actually switch over and play the board game version of it, and then go back to the. At least that's the way the back of the box and all the stuff I read described it, and I'm like, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that might have to come in a bit. Looks like it's Shadow of the Dragon Queen, which just makes me think of Horde of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah.
And we can get rid of that. Rusted Beetle. I knew it. I was like, I bet Rusted Beetle's played Dragonlance. He said, we played Dragonlance in 2nd edition. We played the original 15 modules adventures. It took 2 years playing weekly and was a ton of fun. Woo. 1 through 11, levels 1 through 11 on here. And then last game wise, and this was this Saturday, we were trying to get more people into learning Horus Heresy. So we had a big, what they call Zone Mortalis, which is basically like Space Hulk or a big spaceship. So you had these like rooms and stuff. Somebody had a lot of this terrain, and we boarded off. We were only playing 1,000 points. No vehicles, so it's pretty much just all Space Marines, and just everybody in close quarter fighting. A lot of fun. We definitely had we had 1 or 2 new people show up, so that was helpful. The more I play Horus Heresy, the more I prefer it to 9th edition, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Just for a variety of reasons. But I ended up getting my butt kicked because my partner had to leave for various reasons. And then it ended up being they were like, oh, well, you could just put like another 1,000 points. Even then, I was like, nah, it's good. I don't really want to control. That's a lot of things to control, and I'm just here to hang out. That's fine. You guys could just wipe me off the board. It's all good. Because at this point, it's just like we only play Heresy like once a month at this point. Although I think we're going to try and play it more. So I'm still like learning and trying to get the rules down, as well as all of us are. But yeah. And then lastly, I did some more. Guess what, Philip? I did some more rearranging into the game room and in the big game room.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I've been running out of RPG space.
Okay.
Like, as in book space. I had them on the 4x4 cubes that are out there, and I'm down to like the last cube of them getting full. Just because I get in stuff to review, and B, I buy a lot of books and stuff. So, I decided, I was like, what if because I got a couple of actual bookshelves. I was like, what if I throw them on there? I wonder how much space they take up. Turns out only half the space. So I moved them over here by the game table here. You could see everything all set up. So I got like space in here for like the review copies of stuff. This is like all my RPG collections up here on the top. So this thing's probably going to tip over at some point because I have not weighted it fully at the bottom yet. And then when I was going through a bunch of the random junk we have around here, I had this display case that didn't have any shelves in it. And so I bought some wood, painted it, and now I have a nice display case for my Warhammer minis. So I'm gonna go to like Five Below and get some of those like cheap LED strips, and like put them underneath the shelves and light it up so it looks all cool. So yeah, this isn't everything. This is just like the stuff I don't regularly play with. So like the stuff I regularly play is in these boxes over here on the side, like ready for me to take out. Like this is like the Heresy stuff, and this is this is the Heresy stuff, and this is like the regular 40K stuff over here. And then this is more of like, here's my Black Templars up on the top shelf. I got a squad of Necrons back there for Kill Team, and then these are all those cultists that from that board game we played forever ago, the Assassinorum game.
Yeah.
So those are the cultists from it, but turns out I can also use those in Necromunda. So I've got those in there too. And I think that's the end. That's the end of the picture show. Next year, GW announces space trucks like Space Hulk, but with more paperwork.
I got a load here for Danny. Danny needs to I gotta have him sign for all these. I got a whole bunch of ceramite and some Mark 6 armor.
Okay. So, with that, you want to talk? You want to talk some Patreon stuff?
Yeah, we can talk some Patreon stuff. This is we've got what's going on? What's going on the screen?
Don't mind me.
Don't mind Chris, folks.
No, it's not on the screen.
What does that tab say? I'm not going to say that tab. Chris. You should have that up there. Anyway, patreon.com/boardsandswords, boardsandswords.com/Patreon. It'll take you to the same place. This is where you can get the extra stuff. So if you've been listening, you've heard us talk about after the show, the bonus bits. All right. That's where Chris and I just sit and shoot the breeze and talk about the random stuff. And all we're asking for here, folks, $1 a month. $1 a month. Okay. $1 a month. Okay.
It's Christmas
Don't
time,
get the large
everybody.
drink with lunch.
The best
That's all I'm
gift
saying.
that you could give yourself is having episodes.
More of us.
Yeah. Technically, I have like 15 minutes that we recorded at the end of Sean's show that I never put out because sick. And also, it was not a whole lot, but I will try. I will add that into the what do we record today. I'll throw that in here so that it's actually some decent amount of content. But we talked about some She-Hulk stuff in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah. Definitely some great stuff. It's the best gift you could give yourself and show that, we are worth, 50 cents because you get 2 episodes a month, most months, not this month.
It happens.
It happens. And treat yourself. So, with kind of at the last minute scheduling this episode, I wasn't sure what to put here in the end because I knew we were going to have a lot of news and a lot of talky talk stuff, but I definitely wanted to have a third bit in here. And we kind of rushed it at the end of the last time when I played it with Sean, but they recently made, have you heard of the DALL-E? You've been seeing, a lot of people have been showing off the like DALL-E Mini, which is like the AI thing that you can put in stuff and it makes images for you.
No.
Where like you could type in a phrase and the AI makes up its own, like you could say cat on a piano and it'll make its own version of a cat on a piano. So we did this last time where we were like, and I liked it so much that I wanted to do it again where, we, let me bring up the image here. Yeah. And then switch back to, yeah, where like I took I had talked about fort, and so I had it here, and I was like, kids playing on a playground in the word fort in a comic style font or whatever, and it came up with this. Like this is an AI wrote this. So it was like, I want to have an AI redesign a board. That's the segment is AI redesigns a board game. Oh, here it said comic book style children playing with toys and the word fort was what I typed in. And this is one of the images it came up with. So DALL-E Mini was like a lower powered one that the images weren't as good. Now they've recently opened it up so that more people could use the full up version of it. Like this one, you have to I only have like 48 credits per month or whatever. And so, Philip, give me just a random title here. I'll show you the power of this thing.
Title?
All right, give me, let's see, and feel free to shout out stuff in the chat too. Give me a type of art.
Abstract.
Abstract drawing of what? I'm going to go of a cat on a piano because I had that for some reason. And then we'll say smoking a pipe.
All right.
So now it's going to be doing its thinking thing. It's just showing other stuff on here. All right. So here you go. This is... This is not smoking a pipe. So this is an abstract drawing of a cat smoking a pipe.
That's pretty abstract. Yeah.
Oh man, they even got the liquor glass here too. He's got a bow
Yeah,
tie. Look at this. He's got a bow tie and a suit. That looks like a 4th grader drew that one. And then that one definitely falls in the abstract.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Chipotle lightsabers and Jean-Claude Van Damme. I think there are certain things that they automatically don't do. I think people, I want to say like real people, it won't do.
Okay.
But I was going to try and see. So let's go to Board Game Geek here. And let's find a board game that we could do on Munchkin. Oh, that's a good one. So just for reference, I'm gonna pull up I'm gonna pull up Munchkin just so I can remember what's on it. Okay, so we've got. So I would say this is. So, okay, let's say, all right, let's go back. Let's say a cartoon drawing of a tiny Viking, because he's got the horns,
Okay.
holding a hammer and a chainsaw with the word Munchkin above him. Okay. So let's see what DALL-E comes up with.
That's it, man.
I love this one. It mixed the hammer and but there's no chainsaw.
No.
Munch, is that say Munch chain?
That says Munchain, yeah.
This one's got this one looks like it was these all look like they were drawn in paint.
Yep.
This one more so. Okay. Does that say hummin'? It looks like it says hummin' on top.
Yeah, it looks like that, yeah.
All right. Humanican. There's a chainsaw in the background here. All right. Milking. Oh, this has got the chainsaw in one hand.
Hey,
All right,
there
hold
we go.
on,
That's
hold
close.
on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Holding a hammer. I'm gonna say in one hand, and a chainsaw in the other. All right. Let's get some. I'll use an extra credit here and see if we can get things a little closer. We got almost the same thing. Mickum again. That one actually, the style of it, real close.
Close, yeah.
That's actually really close on style. That's so weird that it doesn't have Munchkin.
Yeah.
I wonder if because I said the Munchkin above him. Me just trying to figure out how to get it closer and closer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Meanwhile, let's do. Nope, that didn't fix it. Oh my God! Look at that style, though. Holy shit! That is
cool.
really close. Hold on, let me just flip it.
Yeah.
Like that is actually really close. All right, I will. I always say like, oh, I'm gonna put this in the show note. I gotta remember this time because at least that one, that is so freaking close. All right, we need. Let's do. I was just gonna see what's on the hotness. The hotness. Oh, Frosthaven. Everybody's talking about that Frosthaven. So let's see. We got a snow like. Okay, so what kind of style would you say this is? Turkey
That
Frosthaven.
picture right there?
Yeah, like I'm just gonna say like a painting because it is kind of like a painting.
Yeah.
So we'll say
Landscape.
a painting of a fantasy battle between a Yeti of a Yeti and a villager fighting in the snow. The snow. We'll just take the Frosthaven bit out of it with mountains in the background. All right, what you got? All right, we'll end the show with this one. Oh,
That's good.
this is good. Like, very similar in style. Although this one's like 2 Yetis fighting.
Yeah.
That's wow. This is like, I don't know if I would make a game with this, but like this could be some like concept art for like a Kickstarter, or trying to get like, you're trying to explain to your artist what you want.
Mm-hmm.
This is great for that kind of stuff, or for like, yeah, like I don't see this kind of stuff replacing artists, because there is a quality difference between, you know, like that and this. There's like a roughness to this. This is like first draft type of stuff. But that is, wow, that's real good. All right, Philip. Let's I would say let's roll that beautiful beam footage, but we don't have it.
Yep, I don't have it.
This is where you start talking.
That is where I started talking. Sorry, my show notes are over here. Hey, that's been our show, everybody. If you want to check us out live, you know where to go. All right, you got to go to boardsandswords.com/live. That's got the links to the Facebook, YouTube, Twitch pages where we broadcast on. It's also got the schedule that we sometimes try to stick to when it suits us. We got lives. Leave us alone. Damn.
Send us feedback at boardsandswords.com. You can also follow us on Facebook at Boards and Swords Pod, Instagram at Boards and Swords Chris. Until Twitter collapses, it's at Boards and Swords. I started a Hive account today because some people are switching over to that, and
I have one of those as well.
Mainly, I just wanted to claim the name at Boards and Swords
just as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So, and then
I gotta claim Dirtbag Phil.
But yeah, we'll see how things go there. I've also been posting, or I've been queuing up some stuff, and then I got sick, so I'm feeling a potential comeback of the YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks. I've been having a lot of thoughts for it and stuff, so you may start to see a big push on some of those platforms. So at Boards and Swords on TikTok too. But most of these links are boardsandswords.com for links for most of the things we do, and like our Patreon. Check it out to help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. And in the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and rest in peace, Kevin Conroy.
And Jason David Frank.
Oh, and Jason David Frank. Yeah, right. Sorry, that's too recent for me.
It is.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We love y'all.